What is good? Osiris here. I think I dropped my camera and it's acting kind of funny. So I'll be doing this like podcast style. Thanks for joining. Marjorie Taylor Greene was on with Tim Pool a while back. And there's a hit piece by the Daily Beast on on Tim Pool that came out. They also went at Cassandra McDonald as well. And the reason why, and there might have been mistakes made, and we all make mistakes, but the reason why it's important for them to go after Tim Pool and Cassandra McDonald is because I think people in power, I think they actually want this conflict. I don't see, I'm looking at the waves and the direction that the waves are going. And the direction that the waves are going is in conflict. And that's why we saw civil war trending on Twitter. This is a clip that I've played a lot and a clip that I really like because I need more of this energy.
We want to keep funding it.
How do we solve this?
National divorce.
Yeah, but that always will result in a civil war.
It shouldn't. It doesn't have to. So just like a married couple that decides that, we can no longer be married, this is not working, they resolve the situation in a court, right? They don't actually go to war or they shouldn't try to kill each other. Maybe some of them do, I don't know. But they dissolve it. They dissolve their marriage in a court. And so essentially really what national divorce should look like is it should go back to how our nation is founded, where state rights were far more important than the federal government. And the federal government's role should be reduced down to a very small role, and state rights should be so strong. And so that, if you want to live in a state where everyone has to be vaccinated, everyone has to wear 3 masks, at least 3, maybe 4, and then you want to have a more communist style state government.
And CRT's taught in the schools.
CRT, absolutely. And all of these radical things, or what we call radical, but they may love it.
Sounds like Massachusetts.
Or California, but they should be able to have that.
So,
and then if you're like Kentucky or Georgia even, or Florida, you want to have a more conservative, pro-traditional family values. Let's say that you want to say, no, you can choose to be vaccinated or you can choose to wear a mask, and you want to have a more free government, you should be able to have it. And then there's no interference.
So that's the clip I play a lot because that's the energy we need right now. I'm not arguing with people who are so far apart from me that it just doesn't make sense to have a conversation. So civil war was trending, so people were talking about it. Why was civil war trending? And I'm off camera if you're just joining me because I got camera issues. I got Will Cremier coming in tomorrow. I got to go on with Carlos on Wednesday and Saul, so I got to get that fixed. But civil war is trending, I said, because corporatists in power know the fortification needed to maintain power will completely break the system. And it's trending for multiple reasons, but I just tweeted multiple reasons as to why. Enter the room, Michael Tracey. When Michael Tracey's on, we agree, very similar to Caitlin Johnstone. And when we disagree, he is way, 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 way off. Michael Tracey says, not a new observation, but the people who are perpetually convinced of a looming civil war just spend way too much time online. Go anywhere in America that's remotely normal, and the idea that the population is readying itself for the cataclysmic internal conflict is beyond ridiculous. And you might wonder, well, oh yeah, Michael Tracey is right. The people who are convinced of this looming civil war are people who spend too much time online. Yeah, he is right. That's true. Go anywhere in America that's remotely normal, and the idea that the population is readying itself for this cataclysmic internal conflict is beyond ridiculous. Yeah, that's true. The idea that the population is aware of it is the thing. What you're describing there, Tracey, is ignorance. You are not correctly assessing the dire situation that we are in right now. When Michael Tracey is off, and when people are off, I don't, who cares? I don't always reply to it, even though I do tweet a lot. He was off in such a harmful way I had to reply to this. This is insane coming from a supposed journalist. This is your take, bruh? All he's describing is ignorance. That's it. Because the situation we're in, make no bones about it, is dire and dangerous. This moment is a serious moment that we're in right now. This is an inflection point in our country. And I agree, only a few people are paying attention. That's the problem, Tracey. The fact that most people are ignorant is not a good sign. That's not something to be proud of. Ignorant people are not the advocates for peace and de-escalation that we need. They're irrelevant. They're just not there. They're like zeros. You've got 1 + 1 + 0, and the 0 is irrelevant. It's nothing. They aren't moving the needle. They aren't stopping the needle. They're irrelevant. The only part that they're relevant on is who's going to win them over. Some of them probably are able to be won over. Everybody wasn't red-pilled, to overuse the Matrix reference again. Everybody's not red-pilled. Everybody wasn't red-pilled at the same time. I'm a big fan of Robert Barnes. That dude was red-pilled back in the day. I was just a little baby infant blue-pilled my whole life. When I say baby infant, I mean like up to 2 years ago. That's not a good thing, Michael Tracey. That's not going to prevent anything. Historically, this is how countries end up with war. It's with an ignorant populace, not just civil war, any war. How did they get away with the money to Ukraine? Ignorance. Not just the people who got the update and got the Ukraine flag. I'm not talking about them. I'm talking about people who don't know or don't care. Which is fine. It's got us through for a very long time. And it's made us soft. That's why Carrie Lake and the video I just talked about with Jennifer from Sweet Home, California, Carrie Lake was like, you might have to put your paycheck on the line. Why did she say that? Because you need to wake up. We have to advocate for peace. Peace is not going to happen by itself. You must almost fight for peace, not like literally fight, but you must be an advocate, a vocal advocate for peace. And people who want peace, they have the numbers. So if Michael Tracey was, talking about the ignorant power, and that, I don't mean that to be mean. I mean, literally by the definition, they just don't know what's happening. I was the same way, in a way. If they were on the side of peace, then we would have peace and we wouldn't be on this path. Ignorance is bliss until the power of your dollar has been destroyed. Energy prices are through the roof and you're about to get evicted. 3.8 million renters likely to be evicted in the next 2 months, reported by the census. So hopefully that doesn't happen. Hopefully it's alarmist. That's not from me reporting it. So we're hoping that doesn't happen. But what happens if a quarter of them are evicted? That's a disaster. Ignorance is bliss until you see the Associated Press print an article. Leadership at the Federal Reserve has become its most diverse ever. There are more female, black, and gay officials contributing to the central bank's interest rate decisions than at any time in its 109-year history. So instead of writing the role that this evil private banking institution has played into the situation we're in now, they're talking about the color of somebody's skin, the gender, and who they sleep with. That's the type of article that should hopefully help you understand ignorance is not an option. They are celebrating this fake diversity as you get evicted and can't afford food. This fake diversity of the organization that played the role throughout all those 109 years to make our money inflate to where it is now. To the point where if you make $125,000, we might have to help you with your student loans. When did that start to be a thing? You make up to $125,000 and you need help on you need $10,000 or up to $20,000, depending if you have the Pell Grant. You need assistance with your loans while 3.8 million people are evicted. Where do they do that at? Ignorance is bliss until you post family pictures and get condemned because you don't associate with the right people. Sydney Sweeney found that out the hard way. They called her MAGA, right wing, all that kind of stuff. Why? She had some family pictures, not even of her. Her family, they weren't even wearing MAGA hats. They said, make 60 great again, because whoever it was in her family, her mom was turning 60. So in the same font, red hats, just like the MAGA hats, they said, make 60 great again. Then there was one picture with some dude in a Blue Lives Matter flag, minding his own business, not bothering anybody, and it triggered people. She had to reply, you guys, this is wild. An innocent celebration for my mom's milestone 60th birthday has turned into an absurd political statement, which was not the intention. Please stop making assumptions. Much love, everyone, and happy birthday, Mom. So she's one of those ignorant people Michael Tracey's talking about, and she had to wake up for a second and reply when they started coming at her and her family when they didn't do anything to anybody. And she's not awake still. She just wanted to address the controversy and probably go back into her turtle shell. If that's what you want to do, that's fine. But understand, this is just the beginning. This is just the beginning of the consequences. Ignorance is not bliss, Michael. It's not good. Ignorance is bliss until you're forced to take an experimental medical product or not be able to enroll for school in 2022 at an institution of higher learning, Wake Forest, UC Davis. Holler at me. What the hell is going on? The same ones we had to cancel debt from, their customers? Yeah. Kim Iverson, I was about to say the great, but she's alive. The living legend in my eyes, Kim Iverson.
Let's talk. I mean, this is crazy. A lot of people don't realize that in order for students right now to be able to attend their fall terms, a lot of them are being required to get the vaccine, to show proof of vaccination, and in some cases even a booster dose as well. And these are students, not the teachers.
Correct. At some colleges, faculty and employees are also mandated, but yes, at several hundred colleges across the country, the primary series is required for students to be enrolled, to be able to sign up for classes, to be able to go to classes, to be able to attend. And in about probably a quarter of those schools, boosters are required. And a couple of schools have already indicated that they will mandate the new bivalent product, which is not yet approved and has just about zero clinical data. So Wake Forest is one of those schools. So yes, this is continuing unabated, even though we now know that the justifications for these original mandates to stop transmission, to protect the population, no longer hold scientifically.
So they don't hold up scientifically, or they don't hold up to anyone who has like a little bit, like a little droplet of common sense. So why are they doing them? We don't have the ability. Oh, stop sharing. My bad. We don't have the ability to be ignorant like this anymore. So you sign up for school, you're ignorant, going about your life, and all of a sudden, wait a second, I still got to take this thing to enroll in class? Ignorance is bliss until you get laid off from your job. Why? Because you're white. In the latest version of Ripley's Believe It or Not, we've got a Minneapolis teachers union. They drew up a contract, and the contract calls for laying off white people first. I don't mean to laugh, but do you want a grown-ass man to cry on camera? They have a contract that says white teachers would be laid off first. What if you're like half black, half white? My children are half black, half white. Do you lay off half? Do they get their pay cut in half? Like if they were teachers, they're young, they're 3 and 5. Would they, if they were working as teachers for this union, would they say the white side of you got laid off, but the black part of you is okay? So what we'll do is we'll cut your pay in half. How about that? Until the latest until that reality hits you, yeah, you're ignorant. But at some point, make no bones about it. At some point, make no bones about it, that reality will hit you. Just because it's not going to stay away just because you're hiding. Ignorance is bliss until parents are bringing children to watch sexualized dances, put dollars in the clothing of adult dancers at a bar down the street from you, and they're guarded by armed Antifa on rooftops. Literally. That's not an exaggeration. That happened in Roanoke, Texas. Would somebody tell Michael Tracey that just because people are ignorant doesn't mean they won't get caught up in a tragic second civil war, which we want to avoid, I would hope, Tracey? Isn't he a journalist? Aren't journalists supposed to be passionate about getting information to ignorant people and providing context for why they might want to care? How many people do you think were really passionate about the first Civil War? In the South, the people who were passionate about it were rich farm owners. There was a small minority of them. Yeah, they got the base riled up, but it was just a few of them that knew on the North and the South that really were passionate about getting that started. Then once, think about it like you're in a bar. It could only take, you might be in a bar with 50 people. If 2 people on one side and 2 people on another, 4 people in the bar. So 46 people don't care. They don't want any fight. They're having a good time. 2 people against 2 other people. They start throwing stuff. They start fighting. You have to get out the bar. You're not going to stop that fight. Unless all 46 of y'all say, stop it, and then wrap them on up and say, we're not fighting, and do whatever you need to do to get them out of there. But if you don't do that, and I've been in the club back in the day when that's happened, the stuff pop off and you kind of see it. Most of the times you see it pop off before it pops off, if you're paying attention. So I'm in you better be paying attention. House party, club. I see some little beef. I see a little something happen. I'm like, okay, let me keep an eye on what's going on over here. Oh, it's popping off. But if everyone was paying attention, or if you had more, say if you had 10 people paying attention, and they'd be like, you know what, before this pops off, get out. We're here about peace. That's what we need right now. And I don't know where these god-awful takes come from. Don't have time for it. It's too serious right now. I am going, my camera's out, so hopefully the audio's good. I am going to take a hard, I was going to comment on this yesterday, but I was too tired, so I went to bed. I was going to do this on the other channel, but I was going to talk about the VMAs. Yeah, that's a hard turn. That's a very hard turn. But you should see, did you see some of the stuff that these people are wearing? It's a hard turn, but you can make the segment. I can make the segue, believe it or not. So the segue is, these are the people that follow these people are the ignorant. And a lot of these people are the ignorant, which is, again, they just don't care. They're not involved. But we're looking at I like, my wife and I look at the outfits on the red carpet, just, spend 5-10 minutes like, well, do you like that one? You don't like that one? Yeah, people were looking good. This was crazy, though. Billie Eilish, is this real? I don't know if this is real or not. Somebody tell me, was this real or not? I don't know. I don't know what's photoshopped and what's real anymore. So let me look at the replies. I saw it. I was like, is that real? This is Billie Eilish at the is that real? She looked like the Scarecrow. I think it's real. I think she really wore that. She's that outlandish. And that's not even the worst one. I'm just going to go through some of these, and I'll maybe look at some comments, and I'll be out. I got to run. Oh my goodness. See, I got to be careful because Twitter will pop up something you didn't really ask for. on anything that's trending, people will sneak stuff in on adult stuff. So I gotta watch out. I wanted to see the trash bag. Well, where's the trash bag? Wow, Nikki in 2010. Wow. That reminds me of like me in 96. She's like half the girl. She's like she's half the size she is now. That's a nice little. I have no idea who Sabrina Carpenter is, but okay, I see you. I think it's a little much with the sides missing, but it's definitely definitely a nice look. I like it. That's a win for me. I want to find Lizzo though. If you didn't see Lizzo, I'm just gonna do Lizzo. Then I'm gonna be out. I think this is real. This picture here, or her walking. Oh my gosh, this is so crazy. I present to you Lizzo. What is that, girl?
Let it rain.
Lizzo! Girl, what did they sell you? Girl. Lizzo, they played you. They played you. Somebody lied to you. That's the worst. And she looked better when she was on stage and stuff. So I'm not here to like knock Lizzo. That's unacceptable though. That's not acceptable.
Let it rain. Let me talk to. Come on.
Oh my gosh. Lizzo literally wore a trash bag. And somebody sold that to her as a designer. Oh my goodness. I'm about to be out though. Barton Bella, thank you for stopping by, says it's honestly past time to admit historically we're all the descendants of savage, no matter where we are from. History was savage and we all still have that propensity for hate. Yep. I want to do a different video about that. I was doing a video just on that, on what is socialism. And I think people fall victim to this idea of socialism because they can't come to grips with life being savage. Libertarians are honest about that. They say life is savage, but let's have liberty, fun, prosperity, decentralization while we're here. Socialism is, I'm going to be the dictator to give you a fair life, which is impossible. So that's a very on point topic. But thanks a lot for stopping by. That's all I had. Take care.